This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
New at 11, passed by the city but shut down by the state. Regulations designed to help Indianapolis renters could be canceled out by lawmakers at the State House.
We first told you about these proposed rules in January. They are designed to protect tenants and give them access to legal aid.
But RTV6's Cameron Riddle shows you how a last-minute effort could take all the power out of these new measures.
We'll proceed to the board for a vote.
The sound of the gavel and overwhelming ayes from the Democrat-heavy City County Council was supposed to be the start of new tenant protections across Indiana's largest city.
Right now, Indiana is one of 8 states that doesn't have a retaliation protection for tenants. I know a tenant who's staying in the shelter right now, and she was evicted after having a verbal agreement with her landlord to keep her mother-in-law there. When she called the health department because her son burned himself on the broken covers on the electric baseboard heaters, they evicted her. And so she had no protections under the law for that. Well, now she will.
2 proposals from the council would require landlords to give tenants a notice of their rights and responsibilities, establish a fund to help tenants with their legal aid, prohibit landlords from retaliating against tenants who file complaints, and prohibit discrimination against applicants based on their criminal records. While the city ordinance has been in the works for weeks, an amendment made just today to Senate Bill 340 by Republicans at the State House would void the major parts of the city's efforts and give more protections to Indiana landlords. The bill would also require any and all regulations to be authorized only by state lawmakers.
Our General Assembly talks a lot about local rule unless it's an issue that really provides consumer-based protections. We have seen this happen way too often.
Tonight, the Senate bill is getting major support from the Indiana Apartment Association, which believes if local cities have regulation power, then landlords would have varying rules from city to city. In a statement, the group says in part, the potential patchwork of policies will not only create confusion among landlords and tenants, but will also ultimately increase the cost of housing. Democrat and State Representative Robin Shackelford is now making her plans to remove the amendment from that Senate bill. She says the extra work for landlords is nothing when compared to the living conditions many Hoosiers are dealing with every day.
Now, for a landlord to say this is going to cost me an extra administrative cost, I may have to change my lease just because I need to inform you of your rights. I don't think that's any kind of justified argument when you're looking at tenants who don't have those rights. They need to know their rights, and you want them to live in unhealthy conditions.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Now let's take a look at the amendment that introduced today in the state Senate that would block the ordinances approved tonight. It would prevent all local governments from regulating how landlords screen tenants, security deposits and other fees, the process for lease applications, lease terms, and the rights and responsibilities of tenants. The amended bill passed in the Senate today. If it's approved by the House, it will undo key elements of the ordinances passed by the council tonight. The Tenants' Rights Initiative was initially introduced by Mayor Hogsett's office. Tonight, he weighed in on this unfolding regulation struggle between city representatives and state lawmakers.
I just think that decisions to protect people from unfair evictions are most appropriately left to local government, and that's why we've supported this at the City County Council.
And you can learn more about the tenant rights ordinances passed tonight and the amendment in the State House at theindychannel.com and by using the RTV6 app.
New at 11, an explanation about rising water bills in one central Indiana city. Lawrence residents have been complaining on social media and reaching out to RTV6 about an increase that began in the new year. RTV6's Cornelia Zocker went to see firsthand where the extra money is going.
We've already spent $8.5 million on water system improvements, new plant, taking care of some of our elevated storage tanks, water main replacement, and some well field improvements.
Scott Salisbury takes a lot of pride in this multi-million-dollar water treatment facility that'll serve those in Lawrence for decades. But he tells me it should have been built in the early 2000s, not 2019. That's part of the reason why rate increases were passed back in 2017.
The city did not do that, and the reason is because they didn't have the money to do it, and they didn't have the money because nobody wanted to raise the rate. Didn't want to be the guy that raised the rate.
He says holding off on the rate increases has led to some serious infrastructure issues like water main breaks and complaints of foul-looking water.
You can't keep putting Band-Aids on things. Eventually, you got to replace it. And it's a hard bullet to bite, but you have to do it.
Scott tells me he knows it's tough paying more for your bill than you're used to. That's why the rate increases happen in phases. First in 2017, and then again in 2019 and 2020.
We put that information in our monthly newsletter that goes out with the bills. Matter of fact, I'll be sending out a reminder that'll go out in the March bills just because of what happened over this weekend.
Along with paying attention to that newsletter, Scott encourages residents to download the Eye on Water app, which sends you notifications if your water usage is higher than normal. With the way he's operating the water plant now, Scott's hopeful people in Lawrence won't have to deal with substantial water bill increases for quite some time.
We have that capital money coming in, so we'll be rolling out projects on an annual basis to start slowly replacing all these old 60, 70-year-old water mains here.
Working for you in Lawrence, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
If your water bill seems especially high, check around your house for leaks. And if your January water bill seems especially high, remember it includes water usage from December when people usually spend more time at home.
Now to the forecast, and you can see that the roads are wet on the north split right now. Rain is moving across the radar at this hour. Let's get our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Kevin.
And our temperatures in the lower 40s. That ensures our rain overnight and through the day tomorrow, as temperatures will be mild enough. I show you this. All the gray there represents fog. Not a big issue, but may drop below a mile in some spots. From Indy south, that's where the showers are showing up. They continue to move to the north and east. I think the rain that will be most substantial will stay to the south of Interstate 70 overnight tonight. Probability of rain hangs with us during the day tomorrow. You need your umbrella through the day. Temperatures, they'll stay in the 40s. There's your morning shower activity. It expands in the afternoon. Then when we get late in the day, still light rain showers, but it becomes snow over northwest Indiana by tomorrow night. I'll have your snow timeline for Wednesday coming up.
See you soon, Kevin. Thank you. Thousands of Indiana families could be forced to tear down their homes because of flood concerns. Some say they're not going without a fight.
They'll carry me out of here boot first or float me out.
Mark Krieger has lived along the White River in Martin County since the 1970s. He's one of the many homeowners in the area who could get a notice from the Department of Natural Resources like the one that Lyra Betas received. She says the DNR determined her family cabin is in a floodway and it's so dangerous it must be removed. Betas says that this is especially painful because her mother bought the cabin just a couple of years before her sudden death in December.
And she just really wanted to save this cabin. She also truly wanted all of her children and grandchildren to always enjoy this cabin. She thought it would be in our family for many years. And she always was telling me, you need to go down to the cabin and enjoy the cabin. And so now that we're having it just ripped away from us with losing all of her investment as well, it's heartbreaking.
The DNR tells RTV6 it cannot comment right now due to pending legislation and an ongoing legal review by an administrative law judge. You can read more about this issue by clicking on this story in the RTV6 app.
The interstate crash and explosion involving a tanker carrying 4,000 gallons of jet fuel could have long-term effects on the environment and wildlife. RTV6 has learned some of that fuel has been found in local waterways. The wildlife organization sent us these pictures. The group says 3 ducks covered in fuel were found near Pleasant Run Creek in Irvington. The Indiana Department of Environmental Management says the fuel got into the creek through the interstate stormwater system. The crash happened Thursday on the I-465 ramp to I-70 on the east side. Susan Guthrie is a lifelong Irvington resident, and she's worried about the future.
I've heard there's supposedly no dead animals at this time, but given an amount of time of being poisoned with jet fuel, I'm sure that we'll see some dieback, that kind of thing. I hope not.
Item tells RTV6 there are no drinking water intakes along Pleasant Run Creek. The agency is working with the Marion County Health Department to oversee cleanup. The department also says the trucking company involved in the crash will be responsible for all cleanup costs.
Franklin College did not have to go far to find a new leader. Today, the Board of Trustees announced acting president Carrie Prather will officially take the job effective immediately. Prather has served Franklin College for 38 years in different roles. He replaces Dr. Thomas Miner. Franklin College College fired minor last month after police in Wisconsin arrested him on child sex crime charges.
Debris and stripped down mobile homes are all that's left at a mobile home park on the southwest side of Indianapolis, and Friday was the deadline for residents to move out of the I-70 mobile home park. We have been following the journey of those residents since August after they reached out to RTV6 for help. They were originally given 60 days notice to vacate. After we got involved, the Attorney General filed a lawsuit against the landowners. That not only extended the deadline, but residents were also compensated or given the title to their homes. And RTV6's reporting prompted State Representative Justin Mode to introduce legislation. Now, under House Bill 1133, mobile home park owners would be required to notify residents anytime they list the property for sale. Owners would also have to provide residents with 120 days notice of a park's closure.
Coming up, food, fellowship, and fundraising. How a special dinner is helping entrepreneurs in central Indiana earn quick cash for their up-and-coming businesses.
And a Florida-based company responds to a social media push to buy a historic amusement park in the Hoosier State. The message from Fun Spot to fans of Indiana Beach.
Just call Summers.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died. And as I look in this arena and across the globe, a piece of you died.
Michael Jordan could not hold back his tears at today's emotional public memorial honoring Kobe Bryant. Fans, celebrities, and NBA players past and present packed the Staples Center in LA for the celebration of life. 9 people died in a helicopter crash last month, including Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter. Bryant's widow, Vanessa, also spoke.
God knew they couldn't be on this earth without each other. He had to bring them home to heaven together. Babe, you take care of our Gigi. And I got Nani, Bibi, and Coco. We're still the best team. We love and miss you, Boo Boo and Gigi. May you both rest in peace and have fun in heaven until we meet again one day.
Proceeds from the memorial will go to Kobe Bryant's Youth Sports Foundation.
New at 11, a facility for adults and teens to earn degrees in job training is coming to Plainfield. Tonight, the town council approved a higher education center that will be called Made at Plainfield. Construction is set to start next month on the nearly 100,000 square foot facility just north of Plainfield High School. The center is a partnership between the town, school district, Vincennes, Ivy Tech, and other organizations. There is one less ray of hope tonight for people who want a beloved Indiana amusement park to reopen. Today, the theme park company Fun Spot America posted a message on its Facebook page addressed to the, quote, many fans of Indiana Beach. Several people have commented on the page asking Fun Spot to buy the park in Monticello. According to the post, Fun Spot officials were recently invited to visit Indiana Beach and review the facilities, but they say buying the attraction or any park is not in their current master plans. Last week, Indiana Beach announced it's closed for good after more than 90 years in business. Time now for a look at your forecast, and it has been a drizzly Monday. Tough to even want to get up out of the house today.
Yeah. And when the sunshine comes back, temperatures will be much, much colder. Sunshine's not back tomorrow. It's more in the way of rain, but this is a headline. The drizzle that we've had through central Indiana will continue tonight through tomorrow with periods of rain as well. I think that'll be a little bit heavier to the south. It almost looks like snow there. I had to shine into the light there to capture how the light drizzle. Okay, so there's your snow from northern portions of Illinois through northern Indiana into lower Michigan. This is a winter storm watch. Potential for 6 inches of snow starting late tomorrow into Wednesday. If you're trying to drive to Chicago, southwest Michigan, South Bend, be aware Wednesday, a very tricky day during the day tomorrow. Temperatures upper 30s to around 40. Very little change in that through the day. Periods of rain. We start to mix in some snow tomorrow night as we get between 7 and 11, setting up Wednesday, when snow is likely, and I think accumulating snow. We won't have any surprises on Wednesday. We're talking about this now. We have falling temperatures through the day down to the freezing mark. So I think that will lead to changing road conditions. The wind will lead to visibility changes as we have wind gusts over 20 miles per hour. There are your temperatures at or above freezing for a while. That'll help melt on roadways, and then coming down below freezing, impacting the evening drive on Wednesday. 7 a.m. The blue represents the ongoing light snow Wednesday morning, not tomorrow morning. Wednesday afternoon. Central, eastern Indiana still snowing. We take it through the evening hours. By the time we get to 7, starting to shift everything into the eastern half of the state, and then that pulls away by 11 o'clock. It will open the door to the much colder temperatures as we get to Thursday and Friday. It will be a strong wind out of the northeast and north, whipping some of that snow around on Wednesday, gusting to 30 miles per hour. Just to show you the variability, here's 4 different computer model forecasts for potential snowfall in the metro area. Pretty big range there. I want to show you another forecast model. Has more to the north, less in central and southern portions of the state, but does show accumulating snow for all of central Indiana. Wednesday temperatures again turning colder. These are morning or midday highs. Looking beyond Thursday, dry and cold with some sunshine, only 29 for the high. We'll end the work week with partly sunny skies and 31 degrees. Into the weekend, we struggle Saturday. We're dry, 29, up to 40 on Sunday. And if you're looking for some warmth, you'll find that a week from today when the temperature gets back to 50 degrees. But it's the next 48 hours that are probably most interesting in the weather world.
We have to pay our dues.
Yeah.
It's been too nice.
All right. Dave Hurst here with sports. Hey, Dave.
Hey, guys. A lot of Pacers talk. The Pacers back in town, still chewing on that 46-point loss at Toronto last night. A couple quick home games this week before they play another 5 straight on the road. But there's a lot more issues than that right now for this ball club. Good evening to the Pacers beginning the season post All-Star game with 2 road games and now 2 injuries. Friday, Victor Oladipo tweaks his back, and then last night a far more severe injury for Jeremy Lamb. Second quarter, Lamb trying to finish the fast break when he lands awkwardly. In the news today, he suffered a torn left ACL, torn lateral meniscus, and a fracture in the lower portion of his thigh bone. He'll need surgery, and yes, he is out for the season.
We got to figure it out. That's just plain and simple. Figure it out. If we want to win, we'll figure it out. This is a part of life, man. Things happen. Unfortunate things happen. You lose games. People get injured. But, you know, it's about character. It's about how you bounce back. It's about how you persevere. That's what people judge you by. So we got to find a way to bounce back as a team and continue to help Jeremy bounce back.
As for Vic's lower back, he says this is the play where he injured it Friday night. Went up for a jumper, and Reggie Bullock knocked down Vic's hand. You could tell immediately Vic was all out of sorts. The contact tweaking his back, which later tightened up. Vic expected to be a game-time decision tomorrow night when they host the Charlotte Hornets. Meanwhile, another big week for IU and Purdue. The 2 meet again this Thursday night, with IU having the edge, at least in momentum.
Our defense, to me, is the whole key as we finish the season. Can we get defensive stops, and can we play in transition defense to offense? Because right now, we're taking care of the ball a little bit better. But, you know, keep the big picture in mind. Keep the game simple. You know, we didn't finish here a few other times maybe last week, but we've been able to finish here, you know, in the last couple games.
Yeah, big win yesterday for those guys. And if you're into bracketology, and really who is at this time of year, the latest from ESPN has Indiana as a 10 seed facing Butler as a 7 seed. Wouldn't that be something? Hey, Friday tonight, first and foremost, women's college basketball. Oregon at Stanford, and history in Palo Alto. Oregon's Sabrina Ionescu grabbing the rebound in the third. She becomes the first player in Division I history to rack up 2,000 points, 1,000 assists, and now 1,000 career rebounds. May never happen again. Also got her 26th triple-double in the process as the Ducks won at 74-66. History out on the West Coast. The news at 11 continues after the...
She was more focused on 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Ashley Home Store.
New at 11, Hiring Hoosiers is connecting entrepreneurs to opportunities to help their businesses grow. One way to make some startup cash is by competing in Pitch Feast. The program uses food and fellowship to raise money for small businesses. A ticket buys attendees dinner and one vote. Locally based entrepreneurs give a short pitch of ideas and concepts. Audience members then vote for their favorite. The winner gets a $500 cash prize to help toward business expenses. The founder of Pitch Feast says it's important to support local entrepreneurs.
There are barriers when it comes to starting a business, as you know, getting access to capital, maybe getting access to networks or markets. So sometimes that small business owner needs an ecosystem around them to help push them to the next level.
Mark Harsley of Kite Connections LLC won tonight's vote. The Speakeasy, a collaborative workspace in Broad Ripple, hosted the event.
Whether you live in an area that's urban or rural, big or small, the agriculture industry is helping you put food on your table. Because agriculture has such a wide impact, there's a growing effort to diversify its workforce. Scripps reporter Elizabeth Rui shows you why a university at the center of that effort says the industry needs a variety of representation to find solutions that fit everyone's needs.
To be out here where they have the kids with them is just amazing.
Robert Wiggins is studying agriculture, business, and education. It's a path he didn't expect for himself because he never saw ranchers or farmers who looked like him.
Growing up in West Texas, I didn't even like ag when I was a kid. It was a white man's game, and we weren't allowed to play.
But as Robert's family grew, he started to realize the importance of good nutrition, and his passion for agriculture took root. So he started classes at Colorado State University, a school selected to be the epicenter of a national effort to bring more diversity into the American agriculture workforce.
When we bring together more diverse teams, we know from solid research that those teams innovate better, they are more profitable, they create more ideas, and they are better at solving big, sticky problems.
Kristen Kirkpatrick is the executive director of Together We Grow, a consortium of agriculture companies, NGOs, and university partners who all share the same goal, using diversity to fuel the innovation behind feeding future generations.
In the next 30 years, as population growth continues across the world, we'll need to produce more food than we have in all of human civilization with fewer resources.
So the fact that this isn't making a very long ribbon means that we probably don't have a whole lot of clay in the sample.
Lucille Rollins is studying soil and crop sciences at CSU.
I can tell already this one's pretty sandy.
She says she never really thought much about her Asian American female identity until she really started to dig into agriculture studies.
I spent last summer working as a crop advisor in Nebraska, where, you know, I was primarily surrounded by white, older men. And I was nervous about that, but I was really surprised because I think they were really excited to have me there and to have someone with maybe a different voice or perspective.
Living in a world with many polarized views, Lucille says it's important that people of different backgrounds are able to find a common ground, and she believes that will get easier as the ag industry becomes more diverse.
Our opportunity is really to connect with people who want to solve big global challenges, who want to save the world, who want to make us better, and there is no better place to do that than in agriculture.
In Colorado, I'm Elizabeth Ruiz reporting.
Well, RTV6 has profiled many local education, training, and career opportunities in agriculture. For more information about that, go to hiringhoosiers.com. We'll be right back.
Toyota, let's go places.
Temperatures in the 40s when you wake up, no big change from where we're at now, with showers around through the morning hours. It's Wednesday that we wait on some snow. Winter isn't over, and that's proven Thursday through Saturday with lows in the teens and highs only around 30.
It's going to be a cold one.
Hold
a cold
on
few.
to that umbrella.
Yeah, right. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.